Hello and welcome to Eat Clean lesson number 8. Today, as promised, we're going over pre and post-workout fueling. So what we're going to be going over today initially is our pre-workout fueling. What you're eating pre-workout is always basically very simple carbohydrates. So you'll notice in all the items that I'm showing you at the beginning, it's pure carbohydrate and very little, if any, protein and zero fat. So it also depends on the window before your event, what you're going to choose to eat. So let's assume that we're about a half-hour window before your training and you're really quite hungry. If weight loss is not an issue and you're fueling for performance, some of the options that you could do, you could have a banana, so a large ripe banana. You could have a quarter cup of raisins. You could have a couple of fig Newtons. This is a fig Newton, so basically it's some kind of doughy type cookie surrounded by a jammy type product. Or maybe you could go with a few digestive biscuits, or in this case I've got about 10 or 12 little animal cookies. So as you'll notice, these are not typically things, except for the banana and the raisins, these are not typically things that I would suggest that you put in your diet. But pre-workout, you definitely want something that's easy to digest and to take down. So if you do have a bit of a sweet tooth and you're really trying to eat clean, this would be a good time to maybe give yourself some of these cookies or sweets, provided that they have minimal fat, which both these options. Pre-workout option, if you want something a little bit more whole food, would be something, and if you need to do something wheat-free, you could do a few rice cakes or quinoa cakes with some jam, some low-sugar jam, again, a nice, easy-to-digest carbohydrate. So that's due. Now, let's say you haven't had a chance to eat, it's at that half-hour window, and we're creeping up closer to about 15 minutes pre-event. You want to go with something even simpler to digest. So our options, and a little bit smaller in quantity, just so you know that it's not going to hinder your digestion and affect your workout. So in that case, you might want to have a half a banana. So again, a ripe banana. This is probably my preferred choice for people because it is natural. You're going to get some side benefit of some good vitamins and nutrients in there. But if you've got that sweet tooth and you want to know a time when can you splurge, you could have something like again, this is a pure carbohydrate, a Starburst candy. These are actually from our Halloween candy from Jake, which we never actually let him eat. So it's now February, this is from October. But anyways, it gets the point across. Or say something like some gummy bears. Again, something like a Smartie would not do it because there's the chocolate, the fat in there, which would slow down your digestion. It's got to be like a pure sugar. Even more preferable over that would be something like a half a Powerade or a Gatorade. This is preferable over something like this because it's got some electrolytes that will service you well, and as well it's specifically scientifically designed to give you the right mixture of sugars for both quick and slow release. So those are your options. Again, you're only choosing one of these items. You're not getting to choose all of them, just choose one of. Very important in today's lesson as well, I'm showing you a lot of different options. Refer to the cheat sheet, and that way you can pick the ones that you like best and decide which ones work for you. Now, if we go to, now that is pre-workout fueling if you are focused on performance. If weight loss is an issue for you and that's one of your main goals, then really all I would recommend pre-workout, if possible, have nothing at all, just have water. However, if you're going into that workout and you're just starving and you just know you're not going to be able to function well with that in that workout, or if you're planning to have a very intense anaerobic workout, you may consider taking a Powerade and maybe sipping half of it. I'd probably recommend having a full bottle of water and a full Powerade or Gatorade and just alternate sipping each of them at the very beginning of the workout and just sipping the sugary drink until you feel you've got enough energy to move forward through the workout. That's, again, just if you're focusing on weight loss. Now, post-workout, the nature of what you're eating changes or what you need. So you want some easy to digest protein in addition to easy to digest carbohydrate. Most of the snacks that I'm going to recommend are going to have very minimal fat. However, if you really want to go the whole foods route and you want to stay away from protein type supplements, I am going to suggest or make some options which take some of their protein from healthy nuts. Again, for pure performance, that's probably not ideal, but you always want to balance where your goals are in taking in whole foods or pure performance. So one of the few of the items that you could do if performance is your goal, it's again the timing window is gonna depend what you're gonna eat. So if you are going to be having a whole meal, for example, if say you have a workout and you know your dinner is going to be about an hour and a half after the workout, what I would recommend if you're fueling for performance is a smaller post-workout type snack. So that's what I'm going to go through first. For performance, a post-workout snack. So what you could do for a post-workout snack, you could have a full bottle of a Gatorade and Powerade, and you could add into it in a shaker cup half to a full scoop of a protein powder. Protein powder isolate is important. So protein powder isolate, what that means, if you're not sure if your protein powder is an isolate, make sure you take a look at the nutrition label and make sure it's got about no more than 4 grams of carbohydrate. If it does have more grams of carbohydrate, say something like 20 or 25, you omit the Gatorade or the Powerade, okay? But again, if it's a protein powder isolate, ideally minimal additives and preservatives, and you're just going with something all natural, like this brand here is one of the better ones, then you're mixing those two together. It does not have to be a full scoop. You could do a half scoop as long as you're getting minimal 10 to 15 grams of protein, so you can decide what works for you. Again, the more your focus is on strength gaining and potentially mass building, then you want to go with a slightly larger amount of protein. Now, whey protein has been shown to be superior for your post-workout absorption, getting into the muscles and assisting with recovery. However, if for digestive reasons or for ethical reasons you want to stay away from whey, Vega does make a really good blend of proteins, non-soy based. Ideally, you want to stay away from a lot of soy type stuff, especially if you're male, that would be comparable to a whey protein, so you could look at that. So that's one of the easiest post-workout snacks. You've got your Gatorade Powerade and some protein powder. Some more whole food type options. You could go with a power bar, and I've got all these listed down on your cheat sheet. You could go with a chopped banana in half a cup of ricotta cheese. I don't have those at home right now, but ricotta cheese is about as absorbable as whey protein, or very, very close. Much superior ricotta cheese. So if you're going to go with a whole type food, ricotta cheese would be recommended. Another option that you could do, again, if you wanted to go more the whole food route, for a snack, you could go with a hard-boiled egg, an orange, and say a granola bar. The granola bar is going to have a little bit of protein in it, as is the hard-boiled egg. Now, some of the options on your cheat sheet, for example, like this one, are also would be something that is a high in iron. So if iron is a concern for you, as it is for many athletes, you want to pay attention to the snacks and meals that I've listed that are high in iron, because that's going to be a good option for you. So there's another good post-workout snack. Other options you could do would be a chocolate milk. I'm sure you've all heard that is a good one. Now, the next window of what you're looking at for post-workout fueling, again, you're choosing one or the other. So in the scenario, in this case where you're having a larger meal within about an hour and a half after your workout, you have a snack, like I've shown here, immediately after your workout, and then you have your larger meal. If you know you're not going to have a larger meal for quite some time after that workout, then your post-workout fuel needs to be a little bit higher in calories. So a sample of what a post-workout meal might look like would be something along the lines of, you could have a couple of slices of whole grain bread or a large tortilla with some scrambled eggs, say mixed on top. Maybe you want to add some salsa, and then some berries. With your post-workout meals, unlike the other eating that I'm suggesting, you don't want to go crazy on the fiber. So this is not where you're going to pack in a ton of vegetables, because if you're having this in that half-hour window post-workout, you want to get things right to the muscles. Adding those vegetables in will slow digestion down, which most of the time is a good thing, but not when you're trying to get fuel right to the muscles. Another good option might be a couple of whole grain pieces of bread or a bun and some tuna and some tomato. So again, light on the vegetables, and then you put that together and make a nice sandwich. So you've got your protein, and then you've got your carbohydrate. Very minimal fat here. Another option might be, if you wanted to go wheat-free, is you've got your quinoa cakes or your rice cakes with some cashew butter and an orange. This is a good high iron option. The limitation of this, again, because the protein source that you're choosing is a fat, it's going to slow stuff down a little bit. So you're going to always need to weigh what your goals are relative to what your post-workout fuel choice is. So I've listed lots of other options. And then finally, the last thing I want to talk about is post-workout fueling if you're trying to lose weight. So I've basically outlined two scenarios. If you're trying to lose weight, post-workout, and your workout is relatively light in intensity, and you're feeling pretty good, you're not feeling super run down, then really what I would just recommend is a scoop of protein powder and water. If you had an anaerobic type workout or a very intense workout, then what I'm going to suggest is, in addition to that, you're going to add a source of carbohydrates. So it might be a half to a full Powerade. You might have a banana in addition to your source of protein. Again, I've listed different options as well. If you wanted to exchange that protein powder for something a lot more whole food, you could do a ricotta cheese or a cup of egg whites. So again, I've listed some other options. If you don't just want to do a banana, you could do some pineapple, etc. So again, if you're post-workout, your goals are weight loss and it's a strength training type workout, or it's a moderate intensity, then you can just go with protein and powder and water and see how that works for you. One caveat with that is you just have to monitor your energy. Weight loss is a very tricky balance to get your body into, and if you're working out regularly, you might find that every 3 or 4 days you may just feel that even if you're doing moderate workouts or mainly strength training, that is just not going to cut it, and you're going to want to cycle in some carbohydrate. That gets a little bit more advanced, and again, with all of this stuff, what I'm hoping to do with these videos is give you an introduction, give you the tools to start off, and if anybody wants to really get specialized and develop their own nutrition plan, I'm more than happy to work with people on an individual basis. So thank you so much for watching, and make sure you print out those cheat sheets and start shopping for those pre- and post-workout snacks and meals. Thanks so much.